Hi everyone and welcome back. My name is Sarah and I'll be guiding you through your practice here today. So today
8th class.
10 mini flows for 10 days. Today's class is a wind down class. It can be done in the evening, but it could be done midday. It can be done any time that you feel like you just need to wind down and take some time for you. This class will be a little bit slower. And props are encouraged, so maybe grab yourself a blanket, a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, use a big pillow from the sofa, and some blocks. If you don't have blocks, once again, just something that can help maybe prop you up in certain poses if you want the extra support. Okay, so we're going to begin in a reclined butterfly, so Supta Baddha Konasana. So a couple of options here. You can either come to take your bolster or your pillow down the long lengthways of your mat. Just having your blocks close by if you're using them. Don't necessarily have to use the bolster, it's up to you. And then take the legs out long in front of you. Bring in that bolster if you are using it to the base of the spine, to the base of the back where the pelvis is. And then come to draw the legs in to create this diamond shape. So the bases of the feet, the soles of the feet are joining together. And if you want to, if you're using those blocks, maybe you're allowing them to prop up the hips, coming under the thighs or the knees for support. Or maybe you just want the knees to hang in the air if that is there for you. And then slowly start to walk the hands back towards you before you come to lay completely down on your bolster or your prop that you're using, or maybe you're laying on the floor. And then come to settle in here. Maybe even closing down the eyes or taking a soft gaze, allowing your awareness to tune on in, to tune into your inner dialogue. Maybe the palms of the body are facing up or down. Maybe they're even resting on the body. And take in 2 more rounds of breath here. There is no rush. Moving with your breath, your rhythm. And then very slowly and mindfully, come to extend the right leg long first and then the left long. Come to roll over to one side. Just remove any props out of the way if you've took that option. And coming to lay all the way down onto the back. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest, taking the hands around the front of the shins or the knees, allowing the knees to come towards the chest, towards the stomach. If you want a bit extra, you can always interlace the forearms around the front of the shins, taking hold of opposite elbows. And tuning into the breath here. Allowing the back, the upper back to soften to the mat. And then come to let go of the legs. Allow the right knee to still be tucked in towards the chest as you come to plant the left foot on towards the mat. The knee is still bent. So we're interlacing the hands around the front of the right knee. And then come to uninterlace the hands. Send the right leg up towards the sky, but not super actively. And then come to interlace the hands behind the back of the thigh, so just where that crease in the knee meets. And then come to close the leg, come to close down, clamp down on the hands. Drawing that leg back, that thigh back in towards the body. Then on your next breath, come to extend that leg, but still maintaining that kind of thigh-chest connection. So the leg might not straighten all the way. And then come to close the leg again. Moving with your breath here, we're going to move here 3 more times. Opening and close is 1 round. Using your breath to guide you. There is no rush. This class is a wind down class, so you want to move as slowly and mindfully as feels good for you. And when you've done your final round, come in to uninterlace the hands from behind the back of the thigh, drawing both knees back in towards the body and giving them a little squeeze one more time. And then come to interlace the hands around the front of the left leg, come to plant the right foot down towards the mat, leg is still bent. Come to uninterlace the fingers, allow the left leg to come up towards the sky, not super active once again, allowing it to just kind of hang in mid-air as we interlace our hands behind the back of the thigh where that knee crease is. Come to close off the leg, draw the thigh in towards the body, in towards the chest. Then come to re-extend the leg. Once again, it might not make it all the way to straight. Come to close the leg again. And then take in 2 more rounds with your breath and your time. There is no rush. And then come to bring the left leg back down to meet the right leg. Just take the feet out nice and wide as the edge of the mat and allow the knees to knock into one another. Just taking a moment in restorative pose. And then walking the feet back in, bringing the knees over the top of the ankles or thereabouts. On your next breath, drawing the right knee in towards the chest. Once again, bringing the hands, but this time just round the back of the thigh, and come to straighten the leg. So we're flexing the toes towards the face. And then start to walk your hands up the back of the leg to where it feels comfortable for you as we draw the leg towards the body for a hamstring stretch here. Maybe the hand comes further up the back of the calf, maybe even comes up towards the ankle, or maybe even taking hold of the big toe with the peace fingers if that is accessible for you. You can bend through the knee here or micro bend if it's not feeling great for the hamstrings here. Just once again listening to your body. We're still trying to maintain that lower back down towards the mat. If you want more sensation, maybe you straighten through that left leg, extending it long down the mat. And then come to bend that right knee, take hold of the right knee with the right hand, and we're going to take the right knee out towards the side of the mat. So the knee is bent and the knee is coming out towards the side as if it's like a half happy baby on your back. You might notice that left hip wants to peel off. If it does, maybe bend that left leg, plant the foot on the mat, or maybe you don't go as far. And the left hand can either be on the hip or beside the body. And then coming back through center, coming to exchange legs. So planting the right leg down towards the right foot down towards the mat, squeezing the left leg in towards the body. Come to send the left leg straight up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling, sending the heel up towards the ceiling and flexing the toes towards the face. Interlacing the hands around the back of maybe where the hamstring is, maybe it's on the back of the knee, or maybe it's coming up to the calf as we draw the leg towards the body. So we're looking to find a stretch through the back of the hamstring, but nothing too intense. We're looking to find sensation, but you don't want to be feeling too much tension here. You just want a nice soft sensation here. And you can still flex the toes towards the face to bring a little bit more engagement through the back of the leg if that feels nice for you. Then come to uninterlace the hands, bend that knee, take a hold of the left knee with the left hand as we take the left knee out towards the side of the left edge of the mat. Maybe that right leg stretches down long, or maybe it's still the foot still planted, knee still bent. And drawing that knee back through center, coming to plant that left foot back down to meet the right. On your next breath, coming to send the right leg back up towards the sky, flex the toes towards the face, and then come to bend the knee as we take the right ankle across the top of the left thigh for a figure four. Maybe the hands are on the body, maybe they're facing, palms are facing down beside the body. Taking a round of breath here. Maybe you want to stay here, or you can come to hover that left leg. Maybe the heel is still in towards the glute, or maybe you're bringing the leg to about 90 degrees. You can interlace the hands around the back of that left thigh if you want to bring the leg towards the body more. Once again, adding on, you can even straighten that left leg. Just finding your version here. And then coming to settle, coming to find some stillness. And tuning into the sensations. Once again, is this feeling okay for the body? What is there to notice? Just observing sometimes maybe we go too far. And if we're noticing anything that's causing discomfort, maybe come out and come back into the pose. Honouring what your body is requesting from you here today. And then coming to let go of that grip of the hands. Place that left foot back down towards the mat if you came to rise the leg. Still maintaining that figure four with the legs. As we bring the hands out beside us, we're going to twist over towards the left. So we're bringing that right foot down towards the mat, still maintaining that setup of the legs. And you can either stay here, or if it's there for you, you can reach the hand down and take hold of the left foot. Coming to find a version of pulling the cat's tail. On your next breath, letting go of that foot if you took hold of it, firming down into the upper back, upper body on your breath, allowing that to guide you out as you come back into that figure four through center. And then coming to unravel the legs, maybe taking the legs out nice and wide, the feet as wide as the mat, allowing the knees to knock into one another. Coming to maybe take a moment here to close down the eyes and just notice what there is to notice. How does that side of the body feel in comparison to the side that we've not worked just yet? And then coming to walk the feet back in so that the legs are about hip width apart. Come to extend that left leg up towards the sky. Flexing the toes towards the face and kicking the heel up towards the sky as we then bring that left ankle across the top of the right thigh. Taking a moment to set up your foundation here. Actively pushing that knee, not with the hand, but with the hip, with the body, towards the front of the mat to open up through the hip here. You can either stay here, or you can come to hover that leg, maybe the heel is in towards the glute, or maybe you're finding that 90 degrees. And then maybe even interlacing the hands around the back of that right thigh. And you can either stay here, or once again you can come to extend that right leg up towards the sky. Just taking any variation that is calling to you. We're still maintaining that upper back down towards the mat, the head and neck are nice and grounded into the mat also. And taking another round of breath here. Before coming to release the grip, come to bend through that right leg, and plant the foot back down, still maintaining the figure four of the legs. Come to bring the arms out beside you to act as an anchor. As you, on your next breaths, come to bring that left foot over towards the right side. So we come to find a figure four twist here. And then you can either stay here, or you can reach for that right foot with the left hand. Noticing that maybe this side's not necessarily the same as the other. maybe it's harder to reach, or maybe it's more accessible. Just going to notice that each side of our body is not always the same as one another, and that's okay. I'm going to find your stillness here. Coming to release that foot. If you've took hold of the foot, grounding down through the upper back, firming in, coming on your next breath up to rise, allowing the legs to unravel, and then maybe taking a moment, taking the feet as wide as the mat, allowing the knees to knock into one another, finding that moment of restorative here. Then we're coming to find next supported bridge. So either having your bolster or your pillow, or maybe your block close by to the side of you. Keeping the knees bent, the feet planted here. Bringing the hands beside the body, palms maybe facing up or down. And allowing the upper body to connect towards the mat. And then start to think about bringing the lower back also down towards the mat. So we're just switching on the stomach a little bit differently here. So the fall of your back, top to bottom, is connected to the mat. And come to lift the hips up towards the sky and slide that prop that you're using here today underneath the sacrum, underneath the pelvis. So we're not bringing it to the lower back, it is on the pelvic area, the sacrum area. And then gently place yourself down onto the prop and come to find your supported bridge. The hands can be placed anywhere, maybe on the body or away from the body. If you want something extra, maybe even take the hands above the head and take hold of opposite elbows. And listening to what your body is asking for here. If you want something a bit extra, if you're not feeling that sensation, maybe you come to extend both legs long. Coming into the hip flexors as well as the low back here. And take in 2 more rounds of breath where you are. When you feel ready, if you've extended the legs long, bringing them in one at a time, very slowly and mindfully. Taking the hands above the head, come to bring them back beside the body. Once again, moving mindfully. And then come to lift the hips, just very micro lift of the hips, so that it allows you to remove that prop from underneath you to bring the hips back down towards the mat. Come to draw the legs in towards the body, the knees in towards the body and towards the chest. And then allow the legs come up towards the sky. We're coming to find waterfall pose here. Maybe you give the legs a little wiggle and a jiggle to begin with. If you like taking your legs up the wall, that's also a very nice, beautiful practice. So you can come, if you have a wall behind you or beside you, come to turn to face the wall, for example, like so. You can come to face put your body to the side of the wall to begin with, and then come to turn, placing the sit bones towards the wall, allowing the legs to be held by the wall. If that doesn't feel too comfortable, you can always walk yourself away from the wall a little bit, creating more of a space. You can even put a prop, maybe a block, or once again maybe a blanket or a bolster underneath you here. I'm just coming to find your version of waterfall. Maybe you incorporate the arms here. Maybe you bring the arms up alongside the legs, and we're just allowing them to just hang here. There's no engagement as such here. We're not bringing any activity into the legs or the arms. There's softness here. Taking 2 more rounds of breath where you are. And when you've done your final round, there is no rush. Coming to bring the arms down, bring the legs down. Coming to roll over to one side and coming up to find yourself into a tabletop. We're coming to close the practice here in a child's pose. So there's a couple of options. Quite a nice version of child's pose is if you do have a bolster or you have a large pillow, coming to place that down the long horizontal way of the mat. And then coming to take the knees out wide, walking the hands down the bolster or down the pillow and allowing it to come in between the thighs as you come to rest to find a restorative version of child's pose. You can even take the head off to the right or to the left, or the forehead can be down. If you are taking the forehead over towards the right or the left, just take in 3 rounds of breath on the right and then 3 rounds of breath on the left, so that the neck's getting the same amount of care on both sides. If you don't have a prop, that's okay, just feel free to sink into the foundations beneath you on your mat. And wherever you are, you might like to stay where you are. If that feels super nourishing for you and you're enjoying it, feel free to finish your practice where you are, or coming up to roll up to find a seat. Remove any props, bringing the knees back into one another and finding a seat. Thank you ever so much for allowing me to guide you here today, guys. It was an absolute pleasure. I hope that you found the class, a nice wind down if you're doing it in the evening, or a nice practice if you just needed some space for yourself and a little bit more of slow, nourishing movement. Take care, guys. Hopefully see you on the mat again. Bye.